there's one game I like, and I'm not sure if you're gonna segue into it. But there's one game I like in November, but this is a very favorable schedule. And I know I mentioned that Ball State was that they had the half bye, like you call it. Central Michigan also has a half bye leading into that one. It is tough though that they do not play a home game after November 11th. I always think it's tricky in the MAC. I always wonder who kind of has the early senior days, and I don't know if it has an actual effect, but it's just kind of weird that Central Michigan just won't have a home game past mid November. It's really strange, honestly. But it is key that they get Western Michigan at home. That's a huge one. They get Miami of Ohio at home as well. I mean, so Central Michigan might take care of some unfinished business this year. Only thing is Ohio being on the road, but um, yeah, but like this is a. I mean, I think for me, maybe it's biased. I think Central Michigan is an early MAC favorite for me just because the schedule is pretty favorable.
I agree with that. There was a lot when I looked at it. Like I thought that Central Michigan came away with one of the more favorable draws of anyone in the MAC. So that definitely bodes well for them. Going to be a tough stretch there late in October. Ohio, Western Michigan, and Miami, all back to back to back there. That will be tough. But overall, though, there's a lot to like about the schedule, and obviously, like maybe that Ball State game could be tricky and Muncie at the end of the year. That could be the one that cost Central Michigan a spot in the MAC championship. But overall, though, definitely they only have what is it? One, two. They only have five true road games. That helps a lot. Um, and then yeah, so they play Eastern Michigan in Ford Field on a Wednesday in November. What are your first thoughts about this arrangement?
Again, this is part of the scheduling thing with the Mac where it's like I'm really confused with these creative choices, these creative liberties you're taking with the schedule, because this game should be like on Black Friday weekend. Like Michigan State did that with Penn State. Last year they played a Thanksgiving weekend game, so it is doable. Like there's not the excuse of the Lions playing on Thursday is not one there, but they chose to make it on November 4th, and I just think the MAC is kind of forgetting like some things in the past that happened because I like Toledo and Northern Illinois had played a neutral site game in at the White Sox Stadium, and I'm trying to pull up the attendance. I wish I did this before because it wasn't on my mind, but like they played a game at I'm about to call it Comiskey Park or whatever, but or at Rate Field, and that game drew 10,000 fans for what should have been a momentous event, the first football game and only to date at the White Sox field. So I'm just confused as to why they're doing that. On the other hand, everyone knows I love neutral site games, so like I'm gonna tune in for this one. Like I'm excited for it. I'm just confused about the placement of the game and also like the amount of rent they're paying for both schools. Like for me, it would have made more sense if, of course, the Detroit Lions, the people that run the Game Above Sports Bowl. That's just the thing. You have to keep remembering how the sponsors change for these bowl games, so it's hard. But if they had approached Eastern Michigan and Central Michigan, because we don't know what happens in those meetings with the every single bowl organizer, but I can imagine there's some discussion where it's like, hey, the bowl game model needs change, it needs reform. Why don't we make bowl games in season? Why don't we do like an NBA Cup type model where like we eventivize the regular season? But no, like Eastern Michigan and Central Michigan decided to pay, I think it was like $500,000 worth of rent, split the cost for rent for the next 2 years to only sell maybe like 10,000 tickets on a Wednesday night. Like I'm at a loss for words for a lot of leadership within the MAC. They're being run like a lot of these athletic departments are being run by Xbox and PS5 players. I'd hate to say that, but it's like that's the type of thing I would do in Dynasty mode.